On November 22, 1935, the China Clipper made its first airmail voyage across the Pacific Ocean. U.S. Airmail began regularly scheduled transcontinental flights in 1920. Commercial travel developed alongside airmail. But as fast as flight was progressing, the oceans still proved a formidable obstacle. Realizing the huge economic potential, airlines began developing the infrastructure necessary to make worldwide scheduled flight routes possible. It was a huge undertaking. Not many countries had airfields large enough for a commercial aircraft to land. Pan American Airways had an idea for seaplanes capable of landing anywhere with a sheltered harbor. They appealed to the aircraft industry to create a flying boat capable of making the long transpacific journey. The Glenn L. Martin Company accepted the challenge and built 3 Martin M130 flying boats. Costing around $400,000 each, the aerodynamic, all-metal aircraft feature 4 830-horsepower engines and a fuel capacity of over 4,000 gallons. Pan Am named its first M130 the China Clipper. With a range of 3,200 miles, the airline finally had the seaplane it needed to fly mail and passengers over the Pacific. On November 22, 1935, China Clipper left Alameda, California, carrying the first ever transpacific airmail. The plane completed its historic 8,000-mile island-hopping journey across the Pacific on November 29, delivering 58 mail bags with more than 110,000 pieces of mail to Manila. The first China Clipper airmail stamp was issued on the day of its inaugural flight. It was the first U.S. stamp to include the month and year it was issued in its design, November 1935. The 25-cent denomination satisfied the rate for mail sent on one leg of the transpacific flight, from San Francisco to Hawaii, Hawaii to Guam, or Guam to Manila. A letter traveling the entire journey required 75 cents postage. In 1936, Pan Am first allowed passengers on its transpacific flights. 2 more Martin M130s, the Hawaii Clipper and Philippine Clipper, began flying the same route as China Clipper. In 1937, the service was extended to Hong Kong and China. A green 20-cent and a carmine 50-cent stamp were issued for this service using the same basic design. The addition of the China route resulted in the 3 stamps being nicknamed the China Clippers. The 3 planes carried passengers and millions of pieces of mail across the Pacific over the next few years. However, the Hawaii Clipper was lost in 1938 and the Philippine Clipper in 1943. China Clipper survived World War II, but was destroyed in a crash in 1945. Over its career, the famous plane had spent over 15,000 hours in the air, transporting around 3,500 passengers and 750,000 pounds of mail over the oceans.